Released by Capcom in 2019 on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, Resident Evil 2 would be a remake of the 1998 release of the same name. Directed by Kazunori Kadoi and Yasuhiro Ampo, who both worked on both Resident Evil 5 and Revelations 2, and written by Brent Friedman, the game also reimagines many of the characters, environments, and story points of the original instead of being an exact reproduction. The game was in development since Resident Evil 7 despite demand being present since the remake of the first Resident Evil game, and multiple ideas were experimented with, such as a fixed camera angles identical to the original, first-person perspective, or having both Leon and Claire travel together. For gameplay, Resident Evil 2 continues a survival horror focus on puzzles, exploration, limited resources, and monsters, as the framework would utilize the new engine made for Resident Evil 7. The game would bring back an inventory slot system where players start with 8 slots that can be expanded to 20, though some items and weapons occupy 2 slots and ammo has smaller stack caps than the original. Besides many quality of life improvements for items and maps, zombies can now open doors, knives specifically have durability, windows can be boarded up, gunpowder can be used to make ammo, defensive items and actions return, players can be attacked and pinned by more than one zombie, and zombies will dynamically adjust their health and behavior based on the health and ammo resources of the player. The blue herb has a new mixture with the red herb to not only make one temporarily immune to poison, but also reduce damage received, and saving in hardcore mode requires an ink-ribbon item like before. In addition, extra scenarios besides the main game can be played as a minigame. One was the fourth survivor, in which Umbrella Infiltrator Hunk would extract the G-Virus, and another would be a comical trial of a piece of tofu escaping the same scenario. There would also be 4 non-canon what-if scenarios called the Ghost Survivors, where one plays as the gun shop owner Robert Kendo, the mayor's daughter Catherine Warren, a forgotten Umbrella soldier, and the Arclay sheriff Daniel Cortini. The game would feature 2 protagonists, Leon S. Kennedy and Claire Redfield, with the ability to play as 2 other side characters, Sherry Birkin and Ada Wong, for small segments. Each hero has their own unique scenarios, stories, weapons, and obstacles, and when the player is played through the game as one of them, they unlock a subsequent version of the game as the other hero, with changes made to the story and areas to better reflect the decisions and actions of the first hero. Keep in mind, there is no A and B scenario like in the original, as the intended canon was each campaign's first run was canon in its own right, and the second run is meant to add context from a different perspective, despite glaring contradictions. For this telling, the setup of playing Leon's story first, then Claire's the second run will be told in the form of Leon's campaign overlaid by Claire's. The story only gets larger from here, so let's cut it down to size with RECAPitation. Taking place in 1998, 2 months after the events of the first game, the Midwestern industrial community of Raccoon City has been exposed to the T-Virus, a mutagenic toxin created by the pharmaceutical enterprise Umbrella for use in bioweapon experiments. On September 22nd, the vengeful Umbrella researcher William Birkin was attempting to steal away his life's work, the G-Virus, from Umbrella, who was attempting to take it from him. Umbrella's internal security would confront him to take back G, but as William tried to draw a weapon, he was gunned down by one of the operatives. As the operatives retrieved the G-Virus, William would use the last bit of life to inject himself with his own G-Virus, saving his life and giving him the power to slaughter most of the team that attacked him earlier, though the dropped samples of the T-Virus would be picked up by rats who would continue to spread it. On September 28th, the spread of the virus has reached beyond the city, as on a dark and stormy night, a truck driver is startled by hitting a body on the road, only to find the dead ominously rise again. At this time, Leon S. Kennedy, a rookie cop, stops by a gas station, but notices it's strangely quiet despite the vehicles around. He hears glass shattering inside the dark gas station mart, and seeing blood splattered across the ground, decides to investigate. Seeing a wounded man and hearing a struggle in the back, he walks in on the Arclay County Sheriff being attacked by a zombie as it rips his throat out. Leon is in disbelief as shooting these monsters in the head a few times is still not enough to put them down for good, and looking behind him sees the dead bodies at the station suddenly rise and reach for him. At the same time, Claire Redfield, a college student traveling to Raccoon City in search for her brother and STARS member Chris, stops by the same gas station. After making a phone call, she hears a commotion inside the mart and moves closer, only to find zombies quickly encroaching behind her. As Leon beats a quick escape, he runs into Claire, and in a split second has her duck as he shoots a zombie just behind her. Surrounded on all sides, the duo makes a break for the nearby sheriff's car and use it to escape the overrun gas station. As they have a moment to breathe, they introduce themselves, as Leon reveals he's a cop on his way to the Raccoon City police station, and it turns out Claire was headed there as well, as her brother's also a cop. Driving through the ruined streets, they come as close to the station as they can before a blockade forces them to stop and consider running the rest of the way. Zombies quickly besiege them, and just after that, the truck driver from earlier is driving recklessly through town, clutching his wounds from the zombie he encountered. Seeing he's not slowing down, Leon shouts to bail out as the oil tanker slips and collides against them, pushing them away in the crash. Leon scrambles from the car just before it explodes, causing the wrecked tanker to explode soon after. Claire and Leon call out to each other, each safe from the fire but still in danger, as they agree to meet at the station and take different paths for now. Leon makes haste to the station, but upon entering calls out to an empty lobby, seeing Claire is yet to arrive. Believing someone else must be alive, he checks on a nearby security feed, seeing an officer in the nearby hallway who is fighting for his life and also holding up something claiming to be their way out. He moves through the dark flooded hallway and helps open the fire safety door, locking the officer out. He tries to pull the man through, but the zombies on the other side rip him in half in the struggle, as Leon sees there's no hope for the man, but sees the item he wanted to deliver. The office he's in gets overrun as well, and hurrying to get out, Leon is grabbed making his way to the lobby, where he's helped away and saved by Lieutenant Marvin Branagh. He helps Leon suit up into his uniform while nursing his own wound, and while Marvin doesn't know how this all started, what he does know is this city will eat them alive if they're not careful. He shares that Elliot, the officer Leon tried to save, had a notebook revealing a secret passageway out of the police station. Leon offers to help Marvin to a hospital, but Marvin rejects that, knowing he would just slow Leon down, and Leon needs to focus on escaping first and foremost. Handing him a knife, he also warns him not to make the same mistake he did, and hesitate to run from or shoot any monsters he sees, wearing a uniform or not. Leon moves out to decipher the clues for the statue in the middle of the lobby, which is linked to the hidden passageway, and along the way he hears of a rescue chopper en route. He also learns that while the police tried their best to turn the station into a shelter, infected refugees and attacks from outside would claim the lives of many, all while their communication equipment was strangely malfunctioning. Marvin then shows him Claire now at the gate to the courtyard and gives him directions on how to get there, as they see the clues Elliot found do indeed lead to a new passageway. The statue is one of many secrets hidden in the station, as the station is actually converted from an old museum, with many curiosities still in place. As Leon gets closer to the courtyard, he hears the rescue helicopter crash into the side of the station, killing the pilot instantly, but he's soon called out by Claire, who just arrived at the station, and the two are reassured by their mutual survival. Unfortunately, the door to the courtyard is locked, and the wreckage of the helicopter now explodes, setting off a fire alarm that now alerts all the nearby zombies to them. Claire sees the mobs rising around her and opts to leave for now, and both of them agree to meet up later and survive this. Leon returns to solving the statue's puzzles and unlocking a pathway that leads underground. He tries one more time to get Marvin to come with him, but the lieutenant knows it's too late for him, forcing Leon to leave him behind as the rookie now ventures ahead as Marvin closes the door behind him. Outside, Claire falls back to a small closet full of supplies and a key to the courtyard gate. Gearing up, she enters the police station on her own, finding the lobby breached by zombies, including Marvin, who has already zombified and is put down by her. She also sees a strange large man in a trench coat and fedora approach one of the security cameras and punch it out. Finding Elliot's clues on a way out, she also sees a note from Leon stating that her brother isn't here and urges her to find a way out. A note from Chris himself says he's in Europe and will probably stay for 6 months, but to her sounds strangely out of character for him. Thinking to use the statue clues so far, she also seeks to open the hidden passageway. With Leon, the passageway leads to an ornate office and an elevator leading to further utility tunnels. He catches a glimpse of something lumbering above him as someone from the shadows drops a ladder for him to use and escape. Finding a manhole that leads to the parking garage, infected dogs are there to attack him, as he is rescued by a mysterious woman. The woman reveals herself to be FBI, but refuses to answer his questions as she dismisses his lack of skills. She advises him to escape while he can and moves on, but compelled to ask her more, he follows her trail. With Claire, she unlocks the underground passageway and continues onward, hearing the sounds of someone running above her that sounds human. She spots a little girl hiding and offers her help, but the little girl warns her that Claire is the one that needs help, pointing to the monster right behind her. Looking back, Claire sees a horribly mutated man that destroys the walkway they're on and swings a pipe at her in a wild fashion. She fends off the threat, sending it tumbling over the edge into the deeper underground, but safe for now, Claire calls out for the little girl. She asks her to lower a ladder for her. The little girl asks if she can help her find her mother, who is likely down here too. Agreeing to help each other out, the girl shares her parents both work at Umbrella as researchers, but her dad is gone now. Finding the manhole leading to the parking garage, they then try opening the gate, but it's locked tight. At this time, Police Chief Irons approaches them, pleased to find the little girl named Sherry, and immediately pulls a gun on Claire. Confused, Claire complies, but asking what Irons wants only gets her a swift kick as an answer. Forcing Sherry to go with him using Claire as a hostage, Sherry surrenders but insists she be taken to her mother. Pistol whipping and defying Claire, Irons drags Sherry with him as Sherry drops a pendant in the struggle. Claire breaks out of her ties, but it's too late as Irons locks the gate behind him. Picking up Sherry's pendant, Claire is now determined to pay back Irons and get back Sherry, looking for a keycard to the garage now. Back with Leon, he loses sight of Ada in the jail area, but instead runs into a man named Ben who is locked in one of the cells. He's glad to see Leon, but wonders if Police Chief Irons sent him, hoping the man to be dead. Leon cautiously asks him why, and Ben explains Irons is the one who locked him in here before Ben was about to blow the whistle on him being a dirty cop. They hear something come their way, and panicking, Ben urges Leon to let him out, as Ben has a key to opening the parking garage. Leon is unsure and wishes to check in with Chief Irons, but before they can talk more, a massive arm bursts through the cell wall and seizes Ben by the head. It drags him up and crushes him easily before walking away, and hearing something else come closer, Leon points his gun, though it turns out to be the mysterious woman again. She laments the death of Ben, explaining he was her informant, and begins to walk off again. Leon asks her a question and she ignores him again as he pauses her in objection. He introduces himself, and she introduces herself as Ada, stating that if they get out of here, then they'll talk. Agreeing to that deal, Leon now looks to unlocking the cells, looking to venture back into the station for a solution. Meanwhile, Claire is investigating Chief Irons' office for clues, observing he has an unhealthy passion for taxidermy, especially for a female he calls Pig, and learning someone initialed WB was paying him off to keep an eye on the STARS members who survived the Spencer mansion, and used police as his private security. The phone in there suddenly rings, as it turns out Chief Irons anticipated this move by her and has been watching the security feed in his office from a remote location. He calls her, demanding she bring the pendant Sherry dropped to the neighborhood orphanage, while at the same time Sherry decides to try breaking out on her own. As she sneaks around, she learns Irons is also the director of the orphanage, which is also owned by Umbrella, and they used kids here as test subjects. Not only that, she is horrified to find the mayor's daughter dead and splayed out in preparation for preservation. She is caught by Irons, who approaches her again and quickly grabs some acid from the table and splashes it in his face, burning and blinding him. Sherry takes this opportunity to hide while Irons flushes out his eyes with water. She takes his keys and tries to lock him out, but he bashes through the door and seizes her anyway. Just then, Sherry screams as the monster from before looms behind Irons and grabs him, forcing an embryo down his throat. As Irons falls and spasms on the ground, Sherry can only helplessly watch and hide. While this is happening, Claire grabs a parking garage key from Irons' office and gets out onto the streets of Raccoon City. Fighting past the dogs and zombies littering the neighborhood, she finds and enters the orphanage. Announcing she has the pendant, Irons surprises and grabs her, blaming his misfortune on her and someone named William, as a small creature bursts out of his chest, killing him instantly and getting away. Exploring, she finds Sherry in the basement, which has a tunnel curiously leading to an elevator, but suddenly, the giant monster from before sets upon them. As they hurry into the elevator, Sherry recognizes the face of the monster as that of her father, but it further grows and mutates, ramming their elevator and plunging down with them. Meanwhile, as Leon emerges on the opposite side of the wreckage, he is shocked to be standing before a powerful and intimidating foe that wordlessly chases him with heavy steps all around the station. As Leon finds a means to hotwire the controls to the cell, he grabs Ben's keycard and notices a voice recording he did with someone named Annette, questioning the link of Umbrella to the orphanage they set up, the G-Virus, and a giant hole in the city leading to her underground lab. He makes it back to the garage, but Mr.X is there to try and cut him off, grabbing him by the neck and throttling him. Just in time, Ada drives a SWAT van directly into the bioweapon, stunning it and allowing Leon to get away. Mr.X begins to push back, but Ada is already prepared for this, blowing up the van and subduing it for now. As they take this time to get away, Leon hands Ada the recorder he got off Ben, though she listens to it and says there's nothing of use here. She explains her mission is to investigate the people responsible for this mess, while Leon states he simply wants backup to be called in to help. With the roads being out, they detour through Kendo's gun shop, though the owner isn't keen on any visitors. Leon asks him to calm down and lower his weapon, seeing Kendo's daughter is infected too, but when he refuses, Ada points her gun at him too. The three of them stand off until Ada points at the girl insisting she be put down, and Kendo quickly backs off. His daughter calls to him, and in despair, Kendo assures her she'll rest soon like her mother, as he takes her away, and behind a closed door they hear a gun fire off. Leon turns to Ada, now determined to find and stop whoever is behind this, as protecting people like Kendo and his family is why he joined the force to begin with. To this, Ada replies her mission is to take down Umbrella's entire operation, though warns him they may not make it out alive. Undeterred, Leon agrees to join her as long as it saves the city, and so they continue, as Ada explains the pharmaceutical giant Umbrella is secretly making bioweapons. They've created a virus that turns people into the monsters they've met so far, and she claims the one responsible is Annette Birkin, so that's who they're after. Leon wonders how Umbrella can build a facility connected to the sewers without the city knowing, and Ada reveals Umbrella has been controlling Raccoon City for years. They encounter a massive infected alligator down here, and as Leon hustles to keep ahead of its jaws, he manages to get it stuck on a gas main, exploding the gas and killing the creature. Landing a timely one-liner on the sewer gator, he jabs back at Ada that she didn't mention the virus affected more than just people, and wonders if Umbrella is selling those creatures. Ada then points out Umbrella doesn't sell the monsters, just the virus that makes them. With Claire, she passes in and out of consciousness as Sherry warns her the monster is still nearby, but the next thing she knows, Sherry is gone and she's being examined by a woman in a lab coat who confirms Claire is not infected. Claire asks who she is and what happened to Sherry, but the woman, who mentions she's Annette, is more concerned about tracking down the monster that attacked them, called William, while curtly stating her daughter Sherry is fine and none of her concern. Annette moves on elsewhere and Claire resumes her search for Sherry, learning that the G-Virus was entering the final phase of testing and meant to create a creature that would surpass humans, with adaptable evolution, rapid regeneration, and a means to reproduce. The creature would seek out hosts with close genetic matches to their own like children or family, and plant an embryo within them, but if the DNA is not close enough of a match, an imperfect G creature will instead be created. Wading through the filthy sewers, she finds a cable car oddly stationed here. She also spots Sherry speaking to her mother through an intercom, though Annette is displeased to see Sherry here and cannot be bothered to look after her. Seeing Sherry suddenly collapse, Claire rushes to save her, though she runs into William again and does her best to survive as she baits the monster into getting struck by a swinging crane and thrown over the edge again. Annette is surprised to watch Claire come to Sherry's aid, and Claire is shocked to see Sherry is infected, as Annette explains she's been implanted and can't be saved, and so their focus needs to be on stopping William. Refusing to accept that, Claire picks up Sherry anyway and Annette gives in, revealing she can treat Sherry in her lab nearby, but they don't have a lot of time. Annette tries to convey she loves Sherry, which comforts the little girl, as she turns to thank Claire for caring so much as well. Carrying Sherry to the tram, it turns out Sherry has an Umbrella ID that allows her access, and so the two get on. As they ride, Sherry struggles against the infection, but still thanks Claire for wrapping her in her jacket. Claire replies that her brother Chris gave it to her, and since then it's always been her lucky jacket. She hands back Sherry her pendant, but Sherry doesn't want it, explaining it was a birthday gift from her mother last year. She laments that she only wants her mom to be home more often, and Claire replies that her mom really does care even if it doesn't show. As the tram now stops, they get off at Umbrella's underground lab, Nest. Leon and Ada now turn a corner, running into Annette Birkin examining a body, and Ada wastes no time demanding the G-Virus. Annette scoffs and runs away, and as they give chase, Annette opens fire, catching Ada off guard. Leon dives in to save Ada, taking a bullet for her as Annette gets away, but passes out quickly after that. Ada decides to patch him up as she radios someone about the status of her mission, as control switches to Ada, who pulls out a remote hacking device and pursues Annette on her own. She dodges Mr.X that has followed them down here, steals a lab ID, and escapes Annette's trap to try and kill her in an incinerator. However, Annette catches her in another trap, driving Ada over the edge into a scrap pile and causes her to injure her leg. Unable to move, Ada openly wishes for Leon to be here to help her again. As Leon now comes to, he looks for Ada, wading through the sewer and running into giant cesspools spawning imperfect G-forms and their embryos. He finds a video from a soldier being slaughtered by the same monster that attacked him before, as rats crowd around a spilled sample of a virus, which he figures is how the virus spread to the rest of the city. He spots a wounded Ada as well, quickly moving to save her, as he removes the spike from her leg and patches her up too. She repeats to him to escape without her, and he repeats he has no intention of leaving her behind, as they now have saved each other. Limping, she tells him that they need to reach Nest, Umbrella's lab, located right beneath them, and together again they move on, each lightening the mood with small jabs and joking about keeping score of their saves. Elsewhere, elite operative Hunk, also dubbed the Grim Reaper, makes his way from the sewers all the way back into a hopelessly overrun police department, where even multiple Tyrant 103 models have been deployed, as he is informed Umbrella has ordered a full cleanup of the city. Despite the overwhelming odds, the cool-headed professional makes it outside, where his extraction chopper is again amazed at his legendary skill in getting out alive and with the G-Virus. Inside, Claire sets down Sherry in a nearby lab and finds a note on an antiviral agent. Called Devil, it's the only known way to prevent G mutation if infected, as it will target and destroy G cells in the body. Borrowing Sherry's ID, she hurries to locate a dosage of Devil, fighting past the infected staff of the compromised lab. She observes the ornate lock on where it's stored has a slot that matches Sherry's pendant perfectly, and picking up a vial of Devil, she begins to head back. Meanwhile, using the Umbrella ID she stole earlier, Ada unlocks a tram headed for Nest, and while Leon cannot wait to have the FBI raid Umbrella, Ada points out she's just here for the G-Virus. She asks him if he trusts her, and a little offended, he asks if she trusts him, as she replies that she does. She asks him again for his help, for if he can secure the virus, she can make sure this outbreak disaster doesn't happen again. He doesn't want to leave her behind just to get the virus, but she suddenly gives him a long kiss, telling him she won't die and wants to see him again. Handing him the Umbrella ID, she asks again for his help, and he reluctantly agrees this time, stepping off from the tram. Exploring the lab now, Leon encounters a unique plant-based zombie called an Ivy, caused by infection from the T-virus created BOW, Plant 43. Generating an herbicide to kill the plant, Leon finds Mr.X still doggedly pursuing him, but makes his way to where the G-virus sample is and finds it surprisingly unlocked for him. However, upon removal, an alarm is triggered and the facility declares a lockdown and subsequent self-destruct sequence. As he leaves, the G-virus monster crashes down again, but this time, Annette Birkin limps in and suppresses him, as she reveals to Leon this is actually William Birkin. Leon demands to know more, and she shares that William injected himself with the G-virus out of desperation. She begs him to destroy the G-virus he took, but Leon says it's evidence that'll be going to the FBI. She laughs at him, stating that Ada isn't FBI, but instead a mercenary intending to sell the G-virus. Leon refuses to believe that, and Annette passes out, asking him again to destroy it as Leon goes back to find Ada. Not far, William now crashes down on Claire, though Annette is there to suppress William once more, regretting that when she observed William infecting himself with the G-virus, she had an opportunity to kill him but hesitated. Claire suggests it may have been her feelings, but Annette confesses they were each more married to their work than to each other. Claire then asks why she abandoned Sherry in the city, and Annette defends that she was trying to prevent a world with a G-virus in it. William then resuscitates and quickly grabs and slams Annette against the wall. As William pauses to evolve into an even larger and more powerful form, Claire hands Annette the antiviral agent and tells her to go save Sherry while she'll handle William. Edging out a win against the G-virus behemoth Birkin, Claire hurries to check in on Sherry and Annette. She's relieved to see Sherry has recovered, but the internal damage on Annette has been too much. As she dies, Annette hands Claire a key to get her to a train they can use to escape, and apologizes to Sherry for everything. As they hear an update on the lockdown, Annette explains the self-destruct will begin soon, and again asks Claire to save Sherry and go, as she breathes her last and dies. Compelling Sherry to say her goodbye, Sherry kisses her mother on the cheek and hugs Claire, remarking how the jacket really is lucky as it brought Claire to her. As Claire and Sherry descend down to the train depot, Claire prepares the train for departure and finds a minigun nearby. Leon now hurries to the central elevator that leads to the train platform they can use to escape the lab. Ada limps in to open up the elevator for them, and the two are glad to see each other. However, when Ada asks about the G-virus, Leon tells her Annette claims she wasn't FBI after all. Slightly disheartened, Ada now pulls the gun on Leon, wishing it didn't come to this, and Leon admits as much as he wanted to trust Ada, he simply didn't, pulling his own gun on her. Ada hesitates to shoot him, and sensing this, Leon challenges her to shoot him, believing she wouldn't. Indeed she doesn't, lowering her weapon in guard as their walkway gives out and Ada tumbles over. Leon reaches out to grab her, refusing to let her go and dropping the G-virus sample, but Ada tells Leon to take care of himself as she lets go and lets herself drop. Swallowing his grief, he hurries to escape the self-destruct sequence, but along the way, spots Claire on a security camera and calls out to her, surprised to also see her down here and urging her to get out. Claire is already on that as she starts lowering the train platform, but is startled by William Birkin, still alive and mutated again thanks to the fierce G-virus. Out-damaging its fearsome regeneration, Claire defeats Birkin once more. The train is ready to go, coupling to the cars behind it. Leon finds Mr.X is still determined to end his life early, though the explosions surrounding them barely keep him off Leon's tail. Activating a lift to take him to the train, a transformed Mr.X emerges from the flames, his limiter broken and superform unleashed. Dueling the monster on the small lift, the rookie cop edges out a win against Umbrella's prized tyrant. From the shadows, Ada, who survived after all, discreetly tosses him a rocket launcher, and using it quickly, the T-00 tyrant finally falls to the crushing firepower. Wasting no time, Leon dashes for the train, finding it already on the move and leaps aboard. Finally taking a chance to breathe, he looks at the ID Ada gave him and remarks that he actually misses her while tossing the wristband away. Everyone on board, Claire cheers up Sherry, who wants to stay with her, as Leon now comes in glad to see Claire has made it too. She introduces him to Sherry, but the train is suddenly rocked by something massive. Going to check it out, Claire is dismayed to find Birkin has not only survived as well, but grown into an unrecognizable colossal blob. Unloading everything she has into it, the fires of the exploding facility creep closer to them as Leon hurries to disconnect the car Birkin is on. Stabbing the massive eye of the vengeful yet unfortunate William Birkin, Claire buys them the time they need as Leon pulls her aboard and the G-virus monstrosity is swallowed by the ensuing flames. As the game ends, the trio walks a quiet and peaceful road away from the city. Sherry wonders out loud if Leon and Claire are boyfriend and girlfriend, and Leon chuckles that they actually just met last night. Sherry then spots a tanker on the road, and Claire wonders if they'll have a repeat of what happened before. Fortunately, it turns out it's a normal truck driver, but wondering if it's truly over, Leon and Claire firmly agree to stop things if it's not. Knowing they'll be fine as long as they stick together, Sherry proposes the idea of them adopting her as the sun rises on a new day. Resident Evil 2 has enjoyed the success of selling over 5 million copies worldwide.